running? I think we are. What's that? Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's my hand. Yep. Okay. So what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is my homemade heater element for my extruder. That's full of plastic because the element died, so I've got to rebuild it. What I use is, there it is the high temperature tape. Now this is very good stuff. It looks thin and flimsy, and sometimes it doesn't stick too well, but what we're doing is we use this tape as insulation across the metal joiner for the pipe. It's brass, and it will have plenty of conduction for the heat. The heat will just travel straight through it. Anyway, I just put tape over it like that. It's only about 1.5 layers, maybe, I don't know, not sure. And then we get our insulated wire, which is this high temperature wire. It's been on before, but as you can see, you probably can't see that Nichrome wire. That's it there, Nichrome wire. It's high temperature resistance wire, and I got it's 0.8 of a millimetre. It's very small, and I use that to wrap around the element, and that is the element, and I just wind it onto things. This is start fresh, get rid of the old one, and wind it onto the heat resistant wire that I bought. It's got special plastic on it that the heat doesn't affect. And I start with putting the wire onto there and tape it on, and then wrap the Nichrome around it. So we'll just do that, and we'll tape it on as soon as I find the end of the tape. Ah, there it is. I left it where it was, right on the end. Now I know I'm funny. So we'll get that, and we will sticky tape. Ooh. Go to the contortionist. Sticky tape the end of the wire there. That's the heat resistant wire, and that's the top of the end of the extruder there, so that way faces to the engine part. I don't know if I'll bring it around there a bit more. Is that better? I don't know. So then we've got the Nichrome wire, and I have a resistance in it. You use the multimeter and see what resistance you got, and I'll probably get a lot of torque back from this, how much resistance we have in the wire. I don't know if we can see that properly, but over a certain length it has a certain amount of resistance. That's something. That's nothing. Why isn't that working? I don't know. We'll just get a longer bit of wire and see how much resistance we have in it. Wrap that around there. Ooh. I think I want about 8 inches of wire. I don't know which way to go. Not that way. Not that way. Doesn't seem to have much resistance. Should have more than that. I don't have much wire really. Uh, 1 foot of it I think has 1 K resistance. That's not the resistance we need. That's not what we're supposed to see. That's it, that's what we're supposed to see. It's 8.2 kilo ohms, or 8 kilo ohms, and we're going to put 12 volts through it. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but it's 8 kilo ohms. I've got about 8 inches, or 200 millimetre, if you want millimetres. 8.7 ohms, kilo ohms, and that's through that 8-inch length of wire. So I'm going to cut that off and start from fresh. We'll just turn that off too. I don't know if you saw all that, but that doesn't matter. I'm only making a video for people on IRC. Now I get that and I wrap that around, or try to wrap that around the heat resistant wire so that it has a reasonable connection. It's very hard to do because it's flimsy stuff. And I've got, what do you call it, club fingers. I suffer from club fingers, not the nightclub, just like old man hands that they don't like to be fiddling with little things. Not winning. Might have to cut this out of the video. Oh dear. Turn it off. We got that wire tied onto there. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of tape around again, and I'll find the end so it holds it in place. Scissors, here we are. And then we have our 8 inches of Nichrome wire, that long. Oh dear, I pulled it off. Shut up. Well, as you can see, I've got the wires all did up. I've got 8 inches of Nichrome wire on that, and it wraps around about 3 times. And I've got this insulated, how do we see that? We don't. Got this insulated wire from eBay, all from eBay. I got all of these pieces from Bunnings. That's in Australia. It's a famous company, and they have barbecues every Saturday. That's the really saving grace for Bunnings. Just give it a minute and I'll get back to you. But we'll talk about ohms and resistance and the length of the wire. So let's see if we can see that. We've got our multimeter here, and what we'll do is we'll have our, which side is the best side to have it on? Have it back a little bit, over there a little bit, and there we go. Alright, so what we've got, our multimeter, and we're going to do a continuity test on our heater, wherever the wires go to. My goodness, there it is. A continuity test and a resistance test with the multimeter. Now, we've got this here, we'll put it on that one. Alright, put that up there, and we're doing a continuity test. Make sure it doesn't have any shorts or anything like that. So this is the other side of the wire, and you can hear it whistling away there. It's got continuity, nothing there, and we'll try it the other way. It's a bit hard. No, nothing there. So that's not shorting out at all. Alright, so let's wind it back up again. This onto the sensor for the multimeter. Oh, a bit clumsy this morning. There we go. Now we want to do the resistance on this, which is, it's I don't know how we work that, unless it's fallen off. No, it hasn't fallen off. I think it's nearly 10 ohms, or 9.3 kilo ohms. And when we measured that wire before we put it on there, it was 8 kilo ohms. Now we're going to stick 12 volts from a transformer through that to make it heat up. We're not going to do that today, but that's a future thing. Now, with this, what would you call it, IRC people, they all want me to shout out their names. They've consistently done this. Shout out my name, shout out, and I say to them, do something, make a video and shout out your own name. But no, they want me to shout out their names, and I find it very, very distracting that they do nothing and want all of this recognition. Now, I think they should get a video going and shout out their own names. What do you think, folks? Anyway, have a nice day, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm done here for today.